Senior advocate and former Attorney General of India, Mukul Rohatgi, has reacted to the Supreme Court's ruling that the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner will be done by President on the advice of a committee comprising of the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha and the Chief Justice of India. He has opined that no such committee was needed and called the Election Commission highly credible.
See, my first reaction is that the Supreme Court has overstepped its jurisdiction in as much as there is a divide called separation of powers. So the powers of Parliament are to make laws. The job of the court is to look at the laws and rule on their validity. Now the law in this case is Article 324 of the Constitution of India. The article says that the President of India shall appoint the EC and the CECs subject to a law made by Parliament. Now the President of India in terms of the Constitution means the Government of India, because the President does not act on his own discretion. He acts on the aid and advice of the government. So it's really the government to appoint EC and CEC subject to any law which may be made by Parliament in future. This article of the Constitution was enacted in 1950. So from 1950 till 2023, for a good 73 years, it's the government which has been appointing the CEC and the ECs. And I must say, the Election Commission is a body with high credibility. I would say the highest credibility amongst all such bodies. And there was no reason to suspect that the EC will in future not be independent or be beholden to the government in question. The EC has discharged its functions remarkably, holding elections in the most populous democracy in the world, month after month, year after year, because this is a country which is full of elections at all times. This country is in the election mode at all times. And I have not heard in the last 20-30 years of any booth capturing or any illegality or any irregularity in the elections. Now obviously the ruling party wins, whichever party wins is happy, whichever party loses is unhappy. So they have to blame the EC, they have to blame others. You know, it's just like what happens in a court. Generally the losing party will blame the court, will blame the judge, whether it's the High Court, Supreme Court, whatever. So this is the level of dissatisfaction. That does not mean that the court should have proceeded on the premise that this body, it's an august body, will not be independent merely because the government appoints these people. This body has acquitted itself well. The court had no material to say that we feel that this body will not be independent, and hence we provide that there will be a committee like the Lokpal, which will have these three individuals who will be in this election committee. Now please mark, in the Lokpal Act, there is a law passed by Parliament which says that it will be a body of the Prime Minister, the Leader of Opposition, the Chief Justice, and an eminent jurist. And I am a member, I happen to be a member of that Lokpal committee for many years. Now, there is no reason why you take out that committee and kind of put it in here. That's the job of Parliament. So there was no reason to have done that. And it is not as if you see that useless people have been appointed in the last so many years or they have not acquitted themselves well. So there was no basis to do that. And secondly, assuming that the court intended to do something, let's say, on that premise, the court should not have made a committee with certain members, which is the province of Parliament. At best, the court could have told the government, look, there are allegations, there may be some credibility in respect of some appointments. Therefore, please make a set of transparent rules, show who will be eligible to be appointed, show how a search committee will look at the prospective names and how you will appoint. That should have been the end of it. I think that
Absolutely.
is appropriate. And I also have another point. Another point I have. Why a committee of these three gentlemen, the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice and the Leader of Opposition? The Chief Justice of India, his duties are defined by the Constitution. This is not his duty. It can be by law as it is in the Lokpal Act. Can't be by virtue of a judgment. And then why not, you see, a social worker? Why not an eminent jurist? Why not an eminent architect? Why not an eminent banker? I mean, you take people from the society. Why not that committee? So you can't have this kind of thing.